This is the stuff people don't warn you about. You know what? Just stay tuned.
Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest.
Friend, I know you like, girl, where you been? Where you been? Homesteading, okay? Parenting these children. I seriously been over here just living life, y'all, and I got some stuff that I want to share with y'all. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video so that y'all can hear what's to come on my channel. But anyway, y'all, let's talk about having curly end microlocks, okay? Because this beast, now let me start off by saying this before I go any further. Curly end microlocks, sister locks, whatever kind of locks, girl, it's a vibe, okay? It's a whole aesthetic out here in these streets. And the girls are gravitating to it. But there's a few things that you need to know before you go out here and tell your loctician to, girl, leave these ends loose. Now, if I had it to do it again, would I? Probably so. Okay, I'm gonna just keep it real. I would probably do it again, but I kind of teeter back and forth. But either way, it's some stuff you need to know about these micro locks. First and foremost, there are pros and cons to anything, and having loose ends are no different. If somebody told you differently, girl, they lying. Everything ain't peaches and cream over here in the micro lock community, and I'm gonna share some of my personal pros and cons. Now, for the girlies that are quick with the keyboard and they want to put those Twitter fingers to use, just hear me out, okay? I'm not telling anyone not to go and get curly ends on their micro locks. Girl, you do what you do, okay? But I do want to share my experience with having curly end micro locks because sometimes it ain't. That's all I can say. Sometimes it's just not. But one of the pros is the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic and the look of having the curly ends on micro lock. It just does it for me. Now, with having that aesthetic, also, if you are a fine hair baddie and you get micro locks, what I also love about having the curly ends is it gives you a fuller look. It doesn't give you that flat to the head hair. You know what I'm saying? Girl, you be having a little volume in that thing, okay? And I'm here for all of that. Anything that makes me look like I have more hair than what I actually have, I am here for it. Okay, count me in. But it does come with drawbacks, all right? And one of the main drawbacks for me with having curly ends is the maintenance that comes along with it because you have to continuously do a braid out. You have to take care of those ends. In my opinion, girl, mine and mine alone, I think that it requires a little bit more moisturizing. Now, if you are wanting your curly ends to lock, which most of us aren't because that ain't the reason that you got them, girl. You like the look, so you do want that look to be a little bit more prolonged, okay? Now, unless you just got a few curly ends and you're ready for them to lock, this ain't for you. But if you are specifically going for the curly ends look, girl, you need to be braiding and banding with this. And if you're anything like me, I didn't really need to band because once I braided the hair and the ends were loose, the braids stayed. When your hair tends to be locked all the way to the end, your hair tends to thicken up some, so you are less likely to be able to braid your hair without banding in some type of way. But when you are in this position, at least for me, I really didn't feel the need or have to band the ends of my hair, which is great. But that ain't what I'm here to talk about. I'm kind of getting off track a little bit, okay? As a curly end micro lock girly, you need to braid, okay? You need to be braiding and securing the ends of your hair because here's what happens. Girl, the bunching. If you don't braid and band, you better believe your hair will begin to bunch. Now, at the beginning of my journey, girl, she wasn't going to sleep without braiding and banding. You hear me? Then as I got further along in my journey, I got a little bit more comfortable and I wasn't braiding and banding as much as I should. So if you're going to have curly ends, girl, please, please, please braid and band. Now, if the bunch look is what you're looking for, then don't worry about it. This advice isn't for you. Okay, just skip it. Now, contrary to popular belief, okay, this ain't for everybody. Okay, this is just me on this side of my little corner of the internet. If I had it to do again, because I do enjoy the curly ends, honestly, I would have been combing my ends to maintain them. For me, and me alone. Now, I wouldn't be combing the part that's braided or interlocked because I would want to maintain that. But the part that was left out, if I had it to do again, girl, they would have been good as comb because I can't stand the bunching. I can't stand it. It bothers me because what I don't know is as my locks mature, will that bunching at the ends cause me to have fatter locks and not that seamless symmetrical look that I would like to have? So that's what concerns me. So for me, when I see bunching, I'll tell you, I go take some water, I spray my ends, and I comb that out. Now, for a while, what I was doing is I was combing it out and I would 2-strand twist the hair on back down to the very end. Well, girl, then I've gotten to the place where I'm like, I'm kind of over this because I should have continued to comb out my ends to maintain the curly ends. And since I did not do that, some of my locks now, I have been braiding them all the way to the end, okay? Now, what does that do for my locks? Girl, the part that is interlocked is a little bit thicker. And then the part that I braided, girl, she giving skinty, okay? Not skinny, skinty. That's what she's giving. Friend, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you here. Now, again, the pros for me is the aesthetic. They're cute. If you have finer hair, it makes your hair look a lot fuller, right? It gives you that volume that you may be missing or want. Those are the pros. And then the cons is the maintenance. You have to maintain and continue to do those braid outs, right? You have to think about bunching. If your hair begins to bunch, girl, it makes those locks look a little bit shorter. If you want to maintain those curly ends, I'm not a loctician, okay? So hear me. If you want to maintain the curly ends, maybe you want to consider combing them. Not the part that's braided, not the part that's interlocked, just strictly your curly ends, right? But again, I would highly encourage you to talk to a professional because that I am not, okay? I'm not a professional, but that is one of the things that if I had it to do again, I would absolutely braid my hair and I would be combing out the curly end parts to maintain the curls, to make sure that I'm not getting all of that bunching and so forth. Now, if you don't mind your hair bunching a little bit because you do want them to lock all the way through, girl, then look, do what you do. Do what you do. But these are some things that I would take into consideration. And on top of that, I would think about what does that look like when you have loose ends and you're not keeping your hair somewhat hydrated. If you're going weeks at a time and you're not spraying some type of water or hydration to your locks, those ends become really dry and they can split. One thing about it is those ends can become very dry. They can split and look ratty. Okay, and who is trying to have that when you have Microlocs? Now, eventually, if you want them to lock at the end, maybe the split ends may not be as bad, but I think that you do have to stay on the hydration. Not oversaturating your locks, but you do need to hydrate them just enough to keep them intact and looking healthy. And another thing that you may consider is using a lightweight water-based conditioner or leave-in conditioner, something of the sort. Only on the ends, girl, not at the top in the lock parts. Okay, girl, listen. Only on the ends. The ends. No, not at the top. The ends, girl, the ends. Did you hear me? The ends? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you heard me say the ends. Because I don't want nobody to come back and say, girl, you said put them on the locks. No, girl. Put the leave-in conditioner on the ends, okay? Because you do want that to stay hydrated, especially if you want to maintain your curly ends. But if you are not worried about maintaining your curly ends, then zoom on past that part because ain't nothing worse than having some crunchy locks. And over the winter, that is exactly what I experienced. If you want to see how I hydrate my locks, let me know down below in the comment section and I'll be happy to make a video to share that with you. And the truth is, girl, even if y'all don't say that y'all want to see it, y'all gonna probably get that video anyway. These are just a few things I wanted to share with you. If you're at the beginning of your journey and you have curly locks or you're thinking about getting them and you want those loose ends, it does come with a few extra steps that you do have to take into consideration. Honey, They fabulous. Now, aside from that, girl, let's switch subjects a little bit. Okay, your girl been homesteading, and what does homesteading look like? Girl, she done got her garden. Okay, she over here trying to grow some fruit. But I would like to bring vlogs to my channel, but it would include me doing my hair, some of the things that I do from day to day, including gardening, budgeting, how I like to save for items, all of the things, girl. Okay. So let me know if y'all would be interested in seeing that type of content. And like I said before, girl, really y'all want to see it or not, she probably bring it anyway, and just to see how the content does. But yes, let me know. All right, friends. If you are not following me on my other socials, please do so. I will link those down below. I would love to have you, girl. She be trying to do a couple of hair videos over there on TikTok, so y'all might like that content. So be sure to check it out. But either way, thank you for tuning into my channel. I love you all. God bless. And until next time, bye.